The market pulls back and rallies as expected. Now it's time to separate the bulls from the bears. This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in yesterday's video, we talked about the fact that the market needed to pull back and hold support for a wave 2, wave B, and then start a wave 3 or C rally higher, and that's exactly what we saw. The market pulled back to 37.35, just above our 37.22 target, and then started a rally into the end of the day, taking out Wednesday's high. This gives us a bullish setup for our wave 3 or wave C moving forward. The question is, how do we tell which is which? I'll get into that in just one second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP500 and the Nasdaq. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. Quick housekeeping note, I am out tomorrow and Monday, so no video Monday. Things should be back to normal after the services this weekend. So Tuesday moving forward, things should look pretty normal. Okay, guys, we had a great day today. As you can see on the screen, a lot of great things happened. And one of the beauties of our room is there are many different trading types. I give out the key levels and the trades, but traders use different trading types to do that. And you can see one guy today had a 1,500% gain with his trading style, and he was talking about how to do that today. So very informative room. We'll talk about that later in the video, but for now, let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 5-minute futures chart for the S&P 500. And as you can see, we got our pullback today to 37.35 for wave 2 or B. Okay, we're still not sure what we're in yet. And then we started our move up. Now remember, both wave 3 and wave C, we need to count all 5 waves of that wave out. So we have our wave 2 down here, and then we have wave 1 of 3 or wave 1 of C here. Then we got a pullback in wave 2 of 3 or C. And now we have a very bullish setup. So in Elliott Wave Theory, the best bullish setup, or bearish setup actually, that you can get is the 1-2-1-2. So the 1-2 is you get this move up in this big wave 1. You see the big bracketed 1 here, a move down in the bracketed 2, and then you get a 1, okay, of 3 or C, and a 2. And then this next move up, this wave 3, should be very strong and long, and it's the strongest of all the Elliott waves, the wave 3 of 3 setup or wave 3 of C setup. And that's what we have right now, is this bullish setup for that move. So in order to determine whether we are in a wave C or a wave 3, the first thing we want to see is, if this breaks out, how high does it go? So a typical C wave targets the 1.0 extension of waves A and B. So you would draw your fib extension tool here. As you can see, this dotted line that goes up and comes down, it goes up to the top of wave 1 and to the bottom of wave 2. That gives us our 1.0 extension here at 39.02, and that's where a C wave typically targets. Now, C waves can extend, and they can push higher than that in a bullish sense and lower in a bearish sense, but in this case, we're bullish, so it can push higher than that. So that is not a definite. If it breaks that, then we're not in the C wave, but that is a good indicator if it doesn't break that and starts down, okay, that we may not be in a wave 3, but we are actually in wave C. I know that gets a little bit confusing, but I'll try to summarize it here in just a second. For the wave 3 count, which would be the bullish count, okay, you would expect it to hit the 1, 2, 3, 6. Now, again, a wave 3 of 3 can hit the 1.0, just like a wave C, but more often than not, it hits at least the 1, 2, 3, 6 up here around 39.42. So the first thing we would look for is, how high does this breakout go if it does break out? Okay, so the height of the wave is the first thing we're looking at, but the ultimate determining factor is the pivot. Okay, so first we need to break out above this high. We poked above it, but we really need to break out above it to say we're really breaking out in this move up. Then they need to push through the pivot. Okay, so the pivot is the 618 and 764 extensions of waves 1 and 2. So again, we draw our extension tool here. We get the 618 and the 764. And a move above that pivot, okay, is an indication that we have started wave 3. Now, to confirm that, we want to see the move hit at least the 1.0, all right, and then come back and hold the pivot. So the difference, the ultimate difference, is going to be if they're able to break out and push through the pivot, okay? If they come back and hold the pivot and then push higher again, then it's much more likely we're in wave 3. If they come up and they pull back and they fail the pivot and break down below it, then it was much more likely we're in this wave C and we're starting a bigger pullback from there. Okay, so we've got our 1-2-1-2 setup, and our target, okay, for wave 3 of 3 up here is the 1, 2, 3, 6 at 39.42. Our target for wave C is the 1.0 at 39.02. And the ultimate tell of what's going to happen if we do break above this pivot is when they come back to the pivot that they hold and then move higher back over whatever high they made when they broke through the pivot the first time. Okay, so that's what we're watching for on the bullish sense. Whether it's an ABC or a 1, 2, 3, we need them to break out higher through this pivot. And once they do, we need them to push up to at least the 1.0. And then whenever they pull back, they need to hold this pivot at 38.39. If they break below that, then it becomes much more likely we're headed lower from there. Okay, now if they do fail, okay, and they are unable to break out over this high and through this pivot, then it could look like we got an A and a B wave. Okay, and then we're looking for a C wave down after that, and we would look at it this as an expanded flat B wave that just poked above this high, and then we would move down from there towards that 37.20 to 36.75 region for support. So it's not a slam dunk that we have this move up happening, but the move over this high, even though it was just a poke, is a good sign, and what we'd like to see is the bulls break out and through the pivot. One area to watch is the bottom of the pivot, this 38.39 level. If you look over here on this side, that's a heavy selling level, that 38.40 area where they hit the level and sold off hard, came back, hit it again, and sold off hard again. So there's going to be some selling there. The bulls are going to have some momentum and strength, but that's what wave 3s are kind of for. And wave C's as well, is to push through those resistance areas and clear all those selling contracts and continue to push higher. All right, so that's what we're looking for on the S&P 500, either the bullish breakout and then see if they hold the pivot, or a breakdown back into our support area for a bigger wave B. Over on the Nasdaq, okay, we have very similar setups on the Nasdaq. I'm not going to go through all the pivot stuff again because I went through it on the ES. You should know that the 618 and 764, how we define our pivot off of waves 1 and 2, and what our targets are, the 1.0 and the 1, 2, 3, 6. So for this one, the C wave target would be the 1.0 at 12,138, and the wave 3 target would be the 1, 2, 3, 6 at 12,298. And then we would look for a pullback to hold that pivot to give us confirmation that we are much more likely in this wave 3 than we are in this C wave here. Again, same type of scenario on a breakdown where we have an A, B, and then we would look for a C wave down into a bigger support level that we were looking at yesterday in that 11,409 to 11,229 range. So same kind of setup on the Nasdaq. They need to push through the pivot and then up to at least the 1.0 at 12,138, or up to the 1, 2, 3, 6 or higher at 12,298, then come back and hold the pivot from there. Otherwise, we look for a breakdown into that support zone for a bigger wave B. Guys, if you like the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It will take you right over to our website. Once you get over there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible plans, and they both come with a 7-day free trial. Because I want you to get in there, I want you to become part of our trading family and make sure you love it, and it's everything you want it to be before you ever spend a penny. Okay, we have 2 incredible rooms. One is my Invest with Jacob room, and there you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, as well as all of your Elliott Wave questions answered. We trade the SPY and the QQQ, and we generally swing trade, which means our trades last anywhere from a few days to a few months. Now, we have been day trading a little more lately because the structure has been a little bit off and holding overnight has been very volatile. So we've been day trading some and doing quite well at that also. Now, if you are looking for day trading consistently as well as individual stocks, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as individual stocks, day trading, and PT's reduced risk binary method that absolutely crushes the market. That's how one of our traders made 1,500% gains on his trade today, and it's a very strong trading strategy. It's something you really kind of have to see because it's very unique, which is why we give you that 7-day free trial so you can get in there and check it out. He also built a challenge account where he put $4,000 into a small account and trades mini ES futures using disciplined trading methods, averaging 3 to 4% gains per week in there, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we would love to have you in there so we can make some money together. Key takeaways for today. We're looking for a breakout from the bulls here up over Wednesday's high, which they poked through and then pulled back from. If they can break out through that and over the pivot, we're well on our way in either wave C or 3. Then it comes down to holding the pivot on a pullback. If they cannot break out, we would look for a pullback into our support zone for a bigger wave B or wave 2. Over on the Nasdaq, same situation. We are looking for a breakout over the high and through the pivot up toward our C or 3 target here, and then we would look for a hold of the pivot from there. Otherwise, we would look for a move back down in a bigger B wave or wave 2 into our support region down to 11,229. Guys, it's the weekend. Again, I will be out on Monday, but enjoy your weekend, enjoy your family. I can tell you from the last few weeks that you don't know how much time you have with anybody, so make sure you have a good weekend with your family. Have a drink, and I will talk to you next week.